Makes my night when Gresh holds up his iPhone. It's when I know I'm getting close to having dinner. Oh, wow. You got it, Gresh? All right. Well, obviously tough night for Central Florida. We weren't happy with our defensive effort against UConn. Gave up too many layups. We weren't rotating. Our rotations were late and they were soft. Got to make 2 and 3 rotations, sometimes 4 in a possession. We weren't on a string. We were rotating once, nobody, and that was late. So we worked hard on it Monday in our practice, talked a lot about it, and kids did a great job of cutting off driving lanes. And then we rotated back out, and we were making 3-4 rotations in a possession. So it was a great night defensively for us. Obviously, tough night for them without making a 3-point shot. But I thought our effort was great. I thought our defense had a lot to do with it.
First guy off the bench tonight was Eliel. Is that just a statement to his progress and how far he's come?
Yeah, he deserved it. He's earned it in practice. And it's easier for me if I just tell myself I'm subbing him in first. And the real truth behind that is I think it was either Keith or Trevor. In yesterday's practice, some guys were subbing out, making sure they got rest. E was practicing the whole time. So I turned to Keith or Trevor and I said, hey, I'll bet you your scholarship I put him in first tomorrow since those guys want to sub out and rest. I bet he's the first guy off the bench. And they looked at me and I said, I wouldn't bet me. I don't lose a lot. So send a message, to my young guys about, I pay attention to who plays hard in practice. Sometimes, as a coach, you can't be a lot of talking a badge. You gotta do what you say you're going to do. If you're going to be about guys practicing hard, playing hard, you got to give them minutes. So, same with Keith Williams. Trevor's been doing great for us, but Keith's been really working hard in practice. So that's why he was the first perimeter. Just forced myself to get him. And I thought getting Keith, we weren't making shots early, but. They both got 4 offensive rebounds. This is wrong. Keith had 2 offensive rebounds in the first half, and E had 2. So I thought those guys gave us great energy early in the game.
So it just seemed like every player had their moments or times in the game where they took it over on your team. Has that been a theme throughout the year?
Try to be. I think whenever you can win by 37 and Jacob Evans only gets 3 points, it shows you the depth of your team and how much you have different guys can help you and make plays for you. Jaron Cumberland's evolving as from a scorer to a real playmaker. As far as a guy that can score, he can assist, he can rebound. So he's got 9 points on 6 shots. He only gets 6 shots tonight, but he has 6 rebounds and 4 assists. He should have had 8 or 9 assists. Guys can make a couple layups and some wide open shots he got people, but the development of the guys that have not started for us is the key to our future, the key to our last 7 games and our postseason run. I've been saying that all year, and I still believe that.
They didn't have the 7-6 guy, obviously.
Yeah.
You guys still shot a lot of 3-pointers. Is that because of
Yeah, their defensive scheme, they're a no-paint team. As you see, they draw the charge as well as everybody or anybody. So you're gonna lend to a lot of open shots. So you got to shoot the ball with confidence, but you have to go rebound. That's why I thought we didn't go rebound early until I put Keith in and Ellie in. Once those 2 got in, we started getting second shots. We used to play Syracuse in the Big East, and the key against Syracuse is second and third shots. You can't just pray you make threes. You got to make sure you get second and third opportunities. Whether a team's playing, their man is like a zone because their help is early and often. It's really hard to get to the rim against them. And then they double team the low post. So it just lends itself to a lot of open looks. For the most part, I thought we took a lot of good shots, maybe 3 or 4. I wish our guys would have probably drove the ball again. But the whole key when a team plays defense that way is to get offensive rebounds. Because if not, you're gonna lose. You can't make enough threes to win. Even if you make, we scored 77 points, but we only made 10 threes. So the key for us is the foul line. second and third chance points, and then scoring off our defense. You know, getting out on the break and scoring off your defense. But I think, you know, all the good, obviously tonight got away from them, but they, since Coach Dawkins has been there, they're 14-8, and he's built a culture that is a winning culture because they defend. Now, obviously, they dealt with some injuries, and BJ didn't play in the second half, but they're not easy to score on. Since he's been the coach, it's been that way. I don't think I'm not going to change. So against a team like that, you got to get some transition, and you got to get second and third shots, and you got to get some free throws. Because they're just not going to give you layups.
Maybe 22-2 going into Sunday against SMU. What do you think is? It was the same thing last year this time of year. What do you think is different?
Was it really?
22-2.
How about that?
What do you think is different this year?
Oh, there's a lot different. Semi Ojale not there. I didn't sleep knowing he was there. It's still obviously they have different personnel. We're both very different teams, but we approach every road game the same. You better expect it's going to be really hard to win on the road. Teams don't quit at home. Their girlfriends at the game. They're not, they're going to do everything they can to get a win in front of their home fans and play well. And that's just how we approach it. I think you got to understand when you're on the road that college, it's tough. In all American sports, the numbers don't lie. College basketball is the hardest sport to win on the road. In our sport, 75% of the games are won by the home team. That's a real stat over a long period of time. So, but there's a lot, very different teams, very different. They've changed personnel. They've had injuries. We're a much different team. We're a deeper team. We play a lot faster. We pressure the ball a lot more than we did last year. For us, getting that ball in the basket and then getting into our defensive pressure is a key for us. And but we got to get it in the basket and got to get second chance points to get it in the basket. You can't rely on made jump shots on the road.
You held them to under 0.6 points per possession. Is that about as good defensively as you guys have played all year?
Well, like I told you, our defensive numbers tell you the truth. I'm a big believer in the Ken Palm stuff. And points per possession are real. Doesn't matter, it factors in as much as it can who you're playing against and all that type of stuff. But, like I just said, you don't give up layups and free throws. You're hard to score on. It's hard to get enough points to beat a team. You don't give up layups and points in the paint and made free throws for your opponent. Things that we do, and then we try to make sure we know who your shooters are. So you give yourself a chance when you play really hard on the defensive end. The fallacy in college basketball is that to get to the NBA and be a professional, you have to score points. It's a joke. I've never had one scout ever quote me a guy's points per game. Never. But I've had a million of them talk to me about how a guy can guard 3 positions or about how hard a guy plays. They know whether you can shoot. They know whether you can score. Everybody can watch. You got to be able to guard somebody to play in the professional level. It's the most underrated thing being taught in college. You can get to the pros, but if you can't guard anybody, they can't put you in the game. They can't maybe on a team that goes 20-62. That's why they're 20-62. They put you in the game, you got to be able to defend somebody. That's playoff basketball. So, we try to prepare our guys to be able to have success. Lance, I was texting with Lance after he did the Bird the other day. But Nate McMillan, his coach, was a defensive wizard in college. Tough guy. And then I knew it was going to be great for Lance when he got a chance to play for a guy that was a lot like him. And now here's Lance Stevenson, leading scorer ever in New York history. He's in the NBA for toughness and defense. So there's a lot to be said for the way we do things. You can help a guy that has talent to be a professional and get him ready to be able to guard a grown man and play as hard as those guys play. Thanks, guys.